Let's say you went up to a random baseball fan and asked them for who they think are some of the best hitters in the league. They name you some obvious guys like Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, Ohtani, Juan Soto, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, the list goes on. But there's more than likely that they'll forget one player. He's super underrated and super unique. His name is Jose Ramirez. What's up guys, it's Six Man Sports, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Jose Ramirez, the most underrated superstar in all of baseball, and what makes him so underrated, and how he's one of the best third basemen we've seen play in recent MLB history. Although he stands at just 5'9" and weighs 190 pounds, Ramirez's skill set is ultra talented. He can hit for contact and average, he can mash a baseball and hit for power, he's a great defender at the hot corner, and he has some underrated speed on the base paths. Ramirez burst onto the scene in 2016 with Cleveland when they made their run to the World Series. Since then, he's been a great member of the team and organization, and he's improved every year and he's been very consistent. In terms of career accolades, Ramirez is a 4-time All-Star, a 4-time Silver Slugger, and a 4-time top 5 finisher in the MVP race. And the Silver Slugger I think is very impressive when you consider the skill at the hot corner. You have guys like Alex Bregman, who's been great, guys like Yandy Diaz, Rafael Devers, who have just been taking over, and Matt Chapman too. So the third base in the AL is a pretty competitive position, and so the fact that he's been able to get 4 Silver Sluggers in this time period shows how good of a ball player he is. To show you guys how good Ramirez really is, let me bring out some stats to compare him versus other third basemen and other hitters in the league from 2017 to 2023. Compared to other third basemen around the league, in that 7-year period, he's 6th in batting average, 2nd in slugging percentage, 1st in OPS, 3rd in total home runs, 1st in stolen bases, 1st in WRC+, and 1st in Fangraph WAR. And WRC+ is a stat which measures a hitter compared to the average hitter in baseball that season. So a number of 138 means Ramirez is 38% better than the average hitter from that time frame. And FWAR, or Fangraphs WAR, is an accumulation of how much Ramirez has been better than a replacement level player, which means he'll add 36 more wins to the Guardians than an average level player at the third base position. Now let's take those same stats and compare it versus all hitters in the entire league. He's 40th in batting average, but 280 is still a very good average. He's 8th in slugging percentage, 9th in OPS, 10th in total homers, 4th in stolen bases, 11th in WRC+, and 4th in FWAR. And these stats show you how much of an underrated base runner Ramirez is. When you talk about the best base runners in the league, Jose Ramirez's name never really comes up, and he has the 4th most stolen bases between 2017 and 2023. The other guys ahead of him are guys who are more contact hitters like Whit Merrifield, but Ramirez can do it all. He can hit for contact and hit for power, and once he gets on the base paths, watch out because he's going to steal a base if he can. In addition, I do want to bring up that Ramirez has played 92.6% of all games possible, and yes, that's a good stat to show how much of a consistent player he is. However, this is also a negativity when you look at counting stats like home runs or stolen bases, and you can say that because he's been on the field the most, he's been able to rack up the most counting stats, but he's still a heck of a player and he's been very consistent. I think one of the best abilities of an elite third baseman is to play some great defense. So how does Ramirez match up on the defensive end? He's great when it comes to defensive runs saved and outs above average, and some of the more advanced stats like ultimate zone rating and range rating, which show how much of range he has on ground balls, show that he's a pretty good overall third baseman. And he's been 90th percentile in outs above average for the last 7 years, so it looks like he's a pretty good defensive third baseman. One thing I do want to mention is he doesn't have the best strength when it comes to throwing when he gets to the ball. However, with his above average speed, Ramirez is able to get to balls a bit faster and make the right plays. And while these stats are a bit inflated due to the high amount of innings he's played, because he's played so many games over the past 7 seasons, there's a lot of guys who are much better like Ryan McMahon and Brian Hayes who haven't played enough innings to qualify for these rankings. So I do want to mention that's one flaw of these statistics that I'm bringing here. It will favor Ramirez because of the amount of innings he's played, but he's still a very underrated and good defender. Finally, before we end the video, I want to talk about why I think Ramirez is underrated or even undervalued by many. Number one, he plays in a small market city, and Cleveland had their great runs to the World Series and had some good playoff runs, but the best player on that team was easily Francisco Lindor, and they had a great pitching staff which was the main highlight of the team, and guys like Andrew Miller. But as the years progressed and Cleveland went into a rebuild after they traded Lindor to the Mets, the team hasn't necessarily made the playoffs. You have guys like Shane Bieber, Andres Jimenez, and Jose Ramirez been underrated for the past couple years. Last year, they surprised everyone and went on to win the entire AL Central, and they took the Yankees to 5 games in the ALDS. Although their success this year hasn't been as good of late, a weak AL Central means the Guardians can always come back and win the division. So Ramirez hasn't been the best on the postseason stage when the lights shine the brightest. That might be another reason he's underrated. So coupled with the fact that he plays for Cleveland, one of the MLB's smallest markets, and he didn't do the best in the playoffs. So I think Ramirez with another good MVP type season this year like he's having, another All-Star appearance, Silver Slugger, if he has a lot of these seasons and he stays consistent, hopefully people can appreciate Ramirez to be the very underrated and skilled player that he is. I mean, seriously, people don't consider him to be that good of a base runner or fielder, when I think he's pretty underrated in those categories. Thank you guys for watching. It's been fun talking about one of my favorite players in all of baseball, Jose Ramirez, and why I think he's so good and why so many people undervalue him. Hope to catch you in the next one. Bye and thank you.